Thank you for joining us to Suprema Connect. Today we'll be focusing on BioStar 2 version 2.9.0 new features. My name is Fit An from Suprema HQ Technical Support Sector. I primarily focus on technical support for BioStar 2 software currently. Today I'll be sharing about the new features for BioStar 2 version 2.9.0. Before we start our session, let me briefly direct you to the location of today's webinar contents. Today's contents will be provided to you by support of BioStation 3, visual face, mobile face enrollment, improved logs and messages, and fingerprint live finger detection mode on BioStar 2 version 2.9.0. Support BioStation 3, BioStar 2 version 2.9.0. Right now, BioStation 3's latest newest feature is upon SIP, which stands for a Session Initiation Protocol based on VoIP, Voice over Internet Protocol Server. Let me show you a short demonstration video at the bottom. This menu you can easily find as soon as you connect BioStation 3 to the device mode in BioStar 2. You will be going to the intercom section, setting up your SIP server address, SIP username, and one of the key features you would like to try is probably open door button. This simply means when you get a call through intercom on BS3, depending on which keypad number you have decided to use, we'll be able to open the door that's connected to it as well. If you're going to use SIP service as a separate outbound proxy server, then you'll be connecting to use outbound proxy server as well. Display extension number, you can either decide to use it or not, as in if you do not want a visitor to see your extension number, you do not have to display it, while it will only simply display the name of it. We're going to add extension number. You can also use it through CSV import or CSV export. Currently, in this demonstration video, we have used our application called LimPhone and LimHome. It's a free application that can be tested out. On your left, you will see the mobile screen. It's an application form. So this application is connected to BS3 in a certain number. Now, let's see. Remember, we just added Julie and Ju on the connect list. So on your BS3 screen, let's say a visitor is coming in to visit. They'll click the certain display name. And then on your phone, you'll be able to answer it. And then you'll be able to use the video screen to see who is at the gate. And clicking on the screen number that you have registered, you'll be able to open the door for the guest or certain users as well. Now, let me move on to real-time streaming protocol. This can also be used with BS3. When you use BioStation 3, RTSP can be set up as in video, depending on which type of video management system you will be using as well. First, as always, you will be connecting your device to BioStar 2 and then go to the RTSP section of it. You need to check your information. Make sure to copy your address by clicking copy. And then on our demonstration video, we're using NX program. So depending on whichever video management system you'll use, you'll now set the BioStation 3 to work as an IP camera on your video management system. As you can see, we're adding the device to it with the RTSP IP information that we have got. And on your video calls at the last moment, it will show the real time as here. You can use it as a video management system as well. How to partially update user information. Now, let me show you the difference between what we mean by partial updates on 2.9.0 version. In the past, let's say you already have a user with certain information saved already. Now, you only simply added the profile photo or you added visual face template and added fingerprint. But in the below versions, when we synchronize or update them, not only the edited or the added versions get updated, actually the whole entire process, even the saved ones get updated as well in the past. But now with the newest BioStar 2 version 2.9.0, only the edited and added information of the user will get updated, excluding the already previously saved version information. Now let's go into the concept of visual face. The key features from BioStar 2 version 2.9 for visual face can be categorized into 3 parts. First part, improved extraction of image used for visual face credentials. Second, supports visual face migration. Third, supports visual face import. This means when you're trying to enroll visual face, when file name of the image matches the user ID, you can easily import that. Let me show you in details on the next slides. Improved extraction of images used for visual face credential. Let's look at this chart. Now, we have divided the categories into algorithm, equipped on which version or which device firmware, and the concept of detect face and generate warped image and extract template. So please have the concept of warped image and face template as a different thing. BioStar 2 face detect algorithm. This was applied on BioStar 2 version 2.8.6 up to 2.8.17. Yes, this does detect face, but it actually did not generate a warped image. It simply cuts around the face, as in if you have a photo of a user, then it will only just cut off the particular face image part, and it does not extract template. Now, the old algorithm that was being applied on BioStation F2 version 1 firmwares, it detected face and it also generated a warped image. In this case, it was generating 250 by 250 pixel warped image. Now, this we will be calling, yes, it does extract template, but now we were going to call this an old way of extracting template because it's an old algorithm. Now, the new algorithm for GPU and the new algorithm for MPU, the major difference is that BS3, our BioStation 3 latest device, uses MPU. That's the clear differences for it. Now, for the new algorithm that's applying to GPU, we have BioStar 2, our latest version 2.9.0 with BioStation F2 with our version firmware starting from 2. Now, both of them have same way for GPU and MPU when it detects face. And both of them extract warped image with 112 by 112 pixels, and it has exact same way for extracting template for the new version. However, let's please make sure you know the important note. Old algorithm extract template, why old, right here, old algorithm, that is FSF2 version 1 firmware versions, is not compatible with both new algorithm, why new. So instead of templates, as you can see, because it's different and it's not compatible, we are going to be using only warped image in order to consider it BioStar 2 and BioStation 3 and BioStation F2 to be working all together. Now, I'll give you more details in the next slide to help you understand better. Now, it supports visual face migration. Let's say you have different versions, different warped image size. How are you going to migrate all of that? Now, after upgrading to BioStar 2 version 2.9.0, of course, you're going to have different algorithms and templates usage that can cause visual face credentials to not work properly, as in you're going to get errors. Now, visual face migration allows users to see the results for visual face credentials and compatibility, as in you'll be able to see which errors occurs from which point and how to edit these as well. In order to do this, it doesn't automatically run on BioStar 2 version 2.9.0. Actually, users must manually run visual face migration. Let me show you how it's done. Now you're going to log into BioStar 2, go to user, click on the 3-dotted icon, ellipse, click on visual face migration part. Now make a note of the warning message. A lot of the customers ask that why is it taking so long? But actually, it could go up to more than 10 minutes for 5,000 visual faces. So depending on how many numbers of visual face your clients are going to have on BioStar 2, the time may vary. Now, here is the important part. It's going to show you the migration result, as in total visual face, how many numbers are actually successfully done. Now, failure users. Now, you're going to click Get Failure List as CSV file. And when you open the CSV file, you'll be able to see more description based on what has caused the visual face migration to fail. And you'll be able to edit those parts and then try visual face migration once again. Now, let's see, you have BioStation F2 with certain firmware version, as in firmware version 1, but you're trying to use it on BioStar 2, 2.9.0, there could be a lot of questions for this. So I have actually summarized frequently asked questions for each cases. Let's look at them right now. So case 1, let's say you have an image of a user. Now you're going to use BioStar 2 version 2.9.0 to add this user image. The new algorithm applied in version 2.9 will detect the face of this user, and it's only going to create WAP image that is size 112 by 112 pixels, and it's going to extract visual face template. Now this WAP image and the visual face template are both going to be saved in your database. Now with this information in BioStar 2.9.0, what would happen if you have BioStation F2 firmware version 1.xx? Remember how this FSF2 firmware version did not have a WAP image of size 112, nor it extracted facial template. So actually, when you send this information to the device, this face user information, the WAP image size will get automatically converted to 250 by 250, so you can simply use it. If you have BioStation 3 with firmware version 1 or up, and FSF2 with firmware version 2.00 and higher, these will simply get saved, and the visual face template and WAP image 112 could work for both cases. Now let's move on to case 2. What we have here is BioStation F2, but it has version of BioStation firmware version that is 1.xx. Now, what's going to happen? We need to have WAP image that's 112 by 112 and a visual face template that's both get saved in the DB. FSF2 firmware version 1.xx, the WAP image 112 and 112 will get converted to 250. So even though it's same FSF2, if you originally have firmware version 2 that works for WAP image 112 and face template, but you do also have devices that are face F2 but firmware version that starts with 1x1 versions, then it needs conversion rate. So you can make both cases. And if you see an error, you do have to make sure you know which firmware version of FSF2 you have been trying to apply these visual face information as well. Now we have using visual face migration option with devices without the new visual face algorithm. What this means is, like I said, we have an F2. Now, new visual face algorithm is from firmware version 2. This one only has firmware version 1. What would happen? We're going to go from FSF to firmware version 1.xx, as in firmware version 1 or anything. It has WAP image of 250 times 250. What BioStar 2 version 2.9.0 will do is apply the new algorithm and detect the face from the image, and then create a new WAP image by converting the size to 112 pixels, and also extract visual face template. And as a result, in the new DB being saved, you're going to have a WAP image of 112 times 112 with a visual face template, both getting saved in the DB. Now, if you have FSF2 firmware version 1, then this converted WAP image gets actually deleted, and only the original 250 times 250 WAP image and visual face template gets saved. Now, if you have FSF2 and a BioStation 3, which both has the new visual face algorithm, then it will save the both WAP image, 112 pixel ones, and the visual face template. Lastly, case number 4. We have an FSF2 with a firmware version 1. What would happen there? The original 250 times 250 image, WAP image gets saved, the 2.9.0. Now we're going to not use the BioStar 2, but actually be applied on the device itself. The new algorithm applied in version 2.9.0 will detect the face and create a new WAP image, 112 pixel. Extract visual face template, and then in the new FSF2 version, firmware version 2, and a BioStation 3 firmware version 1, it will save the WAP image of 112 pixels as well as the visual face template. While if it's for the same, it will it will not make any changes and only save the 250 watt image size. You could have furthermore questions regarding this. You could simply look at this previous charts and then follow which case could be applied to you as well. Now, how are we going to do the support visual face import? Enroll visual face when the file name of the image matches the user. Actually, the main key point here is as long as you create an image file of the user with an exact name that matches with the user ID, it will automatically create as in save the image file for the certain user as well. Let's look into it. First, what you're going to do is make a separate folder for visual face image for BioStar 2 users. You can have it saved in any folder that you particularly want. I have saved it in the document file. And then you're going to import all the face image of the user that you're trying to use. In the example, I have about 5 user image, but as you see, all the user files names are different, right? So what I'm trying to do here is by renaming them, I'm making sure that each file name matches with the user ID. Now we're going to click Visual Face Import. And as you see here, we're going to click on the face image directory. Because of this, that was why I was telling you to make sure you have a separate folder. So we're going to upload those images. I have 4 uploaded. Now, new visual face import image file whose name matches user ID, import image files whose name matches user ID, plus add new users by using file name as user ID. The difference here is if you already have user already registered on BioStar 2 only without the image, then the first will be your choice. But if you're trying to add a new user who's not already registered on BioStar 2 and you want to simplify your step into one instead of creating an ID and then adding an image. Instead, you just want to do the whole process as one, then you can click on step 2. When user already has visual face, do you want to preserve the visual face image or do you want to overwrite it? This is up to you. If you will think the original file had an issue and that's why you're trying to change it, then of course you want to overwrite it. But let's say you're trying to just add another image, then you can click preserve and simply add a new image for it as well. Use as profile image. This is up to your choice. It could be also used as profile image if you check on that mark. Now, this is the important part. After you check done part, as you can see, the warning states visual face import completed with some errors. Now, you want to know which kind of errors you will be facing, right? Then you're going to click on download, and then it will download a file. It says success 0 fail 4. Yeah, I try to make a lot of fails so we can see different reasonings for it. You'll download the file and open it, and then it will show you the reason for failure. The image has exceeded the maximum size. Not supported letters included in the file name. This means right now on BioStar 2, you could have set your user ID for not using alphanumeric, but your image file name was holding user ID with alphanumeric value, and that was the reason for it. The image maximum size, not supported letters included in the file name could also be it too. So if these are the cases, then you must go back to your BioStar 2 settings and see which type of user ID you have set it for. Yes, and I'm going to show you how the user ID setting after checking their error, user can fix the error and retry visual face import. Now I'll be moving on to mobile face enrollment. Let's get this concept down. What are the key factors for mobile face enrollment? What's a must factor that you must have in order to use this service? You must have BioStar 2 AC license. The level of it must be standard and above. You must also enable BioStar 2 cloud service. And most importantly, you need to preset email settings for your users as well. How to use mobile face enrollment? Let's get started. You're going to go to BioStar 2 settings and you're going to allow to cloud usage. BioStar 2 settings, you're also going to go to email settings and have email set up. And you're going to enable visual face mobile enrollment. This is where you're going to go. Email setting, visual face mobile enrollment. You're going to click on use. You're going to have these email to be set up. And importantly, you have to add email information for each users that you're trying to assist by having mobile face enrollment. You can have, as an example, you have 10 users and you're trying to have all of them mobile face enrolled by it, then you must have these 10 users' email contact information updated on BioStar 2 for it. Check mark on users. After you have saved those email accounts, you're going to click on those users with the emails. Click, click, click on those users. As an example, if I said 10, you'll have 10 of the users clicked. And then on the right side, you're going to click on the 3 dotted lines and then click on send visual face mobile enrollment link. Use your mobile phone to open the visual face mobile enrollment link in your email. Open the received email, click on visual face registration. On the right is how your email looks like. You're gonna get an email stating about how to enroll facial recognition. Follow the guidelines shown on the screen to register your face photo. Supported image files are from JPG to JPEG and PNG files. The supported image file size is a minimum of 250 by 250 and a maximum of 10 megabytes. Visual face enrollment link sent will expire after 24 hours. This is very crucial. A lot of the time, some customers believe that, oh, let me register in later hours, but make sure they know that it's within 24 hours before it gets expired. And also, once used link, this same link cannot be reused again. Now, with your mobile phone, you're going to enroll your face. And one of the key new features that you can see is right on the application, you'll be able to see if your image was successfully enrolled or if your visual face registration needs to be done once again. Here you can see cannot detect face in the image. Please refer to the help and try again with the appropriate image. So you can take a photo of yourself and see which kind of issue or editing that needs to be done to make sure you can successfully enroll your mobile face enrollment information as well. Improved logs and messages. Improved logs and messages are solely for the clients to understand in deep level of what's happening in the logs as well. First, we have improved door open logs. Right now, instead of just door open, now with BioStar 2.9.0, you can read improved door open logs, such as door open requested by exit button, door open requested by the operator, door open requested by exit button while the relay does not activate. Now, these are affected products and versions. Even though you're using BioStar 2.9.0, not all devices could be affected. So make sure you're using BioStation 3 version, firmware version 1.00 or above, BioStation F2 version 2.1.0 and above, BioLite N2 version 1.5.0 and above for it. Let me show you how it's done. Now you're going to go to BioStar 2, you're going to go to device, click on these affected products, and you're going to do image log, and you're going to enable it. Now in the image log event section, as you can see, you're going to see door open requested by exit button, door open requested by exit button, relay does not activate, and it's exactly as above, and you can simply add them. It's same procedure for that could be advised added onto device, trigger and action part. Now you're going to click on the device and then go to trigger and action, search for certain events, and the certain events that could be added or newly added here on BioStar 2.9.0. So please check on those. And after you have applied these, you can also see the results of how it's being shown. By going to the monitoring, it's applied on the events log. You see how it says door lock requested by operator, door release requested by operator, door unlock requested by operator. So it's a little more detailed, as in you can see who has made the request and what has been done. Not only in monitoring event log, you can see this, you will also be able to check it in real-time log as well. Now, added logs to indicate full capacity on devices is a totally new log as well, and it's actually affected on all firmwares. Newly added error code from the device will be sent to BioStar to event log, and this can only be found on BioStar 2. Allows the users to know the exact reason for the cause of device synchronization failure. Now, instead of simply stating sync error in the logs, it will tell you what the core reason, if it's anything related to the flow capacity. So it says sync error exceeded max user count, sync error exceeded max fingerprint count, sync error exceeded max card count, sync error exceeded max face count. Improved error message showing reason for CSV import failure. When you try to do CSV import failure, the file import path was showing statements such as fake path, but now it's going to show you the exact location of where your file is being imported to make sure. Software-based live finger detection. So this is going to be shown for live finger detection, as in, will our device be able to tell if this is real human being fingerprint that is being used on this device, or it's some silicone-based or rubber-based or anything that is man-made to get access onto it. Now, software-based live finger detection mechanism must use BioStar 2 version 2.9.0 or above. Currently, the device models that are being supported is BioLite N2 with the firmware version 1.5.0 or above. BioStation F2 ODD model, obviously, because it's fingerprints. So version 1.0.0 or above. Lastly, XStation 2 with ODPB or OAPB model with firmware version 1.1.0 or above as well. How to configure live finger detection mode in BioStar 2 version 2.9.0. As you can see from the top image, it's how it was shown for BioStar 2 version 2.9.0. You didn't have fingerprint LFD mode, but now you'll be able to see the fingerprint LFD mode as long as you're using the correct affected device with this option. And you can set it to more strict, less, or turn off the function as well if necessary. How to configure live finger detection mode in device. Right now in the image sample, I have used BioStation F2 ODD model. What you're going to do is you're going to press this 4 tiny square menu on the device on the screen and authenticate with the admin level credential. You're going to go to menu, you're going to go to authentication, then to fingerprint. The default setting for live finger detection is generally as in the default setting not being used. So if you actually want to use the live finger detection, you're going to click on the menu and choose strict, more strict, or most strict, depending on your usage and needs. Thank you for your time, and I really appreciate you all for joining us.